So what we'll do here, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, have your feet be kind of like looking like number 11s or parallel, as I like to say it. And we are going to start standing today or seated on the chair. From here, I invite you to place your hand low below your belly button and then one hand upon that. And have those shoulders be a little bit relaxed. And we're going to breathe in, expand the lower belly out if you can. Sometimes that mission impossible, but we're going to try. So here we go. Breathe in, belly out, chest also expands. And then we draw our belly button towards your spine as we exhale. And again, breathe in, belly out, and exhale. So what's the purpose of doing breathing at the beginning? It's to kind of get you out of your mind that may be going a million miles a minute and into the body. So I invite you to listen to the breath as it goes in through the nostril tips and out through the nostril tips. Relax those shoulders. Again, breathe in and out. One more time. Here we go. Breathing in, belly big, and exhale. Beautiful. From here, let's do the golfer grip hands. So we're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands as best you can. And then we're going to go to letter W. So we're squeezing the upper back, the scapula, the shoulders. So you feel a little bit of maybe strength building going on in the upper body. Now, if you need to have a little bend in the knees, have a little bend in the knees. And we're going to extend those arms out into a letter T. I'm going to turn my thumbs towards the front of the room, still squeezing the upper back. Slowly, I'm drawing circles forward and back behind. Now, if you need to do one side at a time, just know that's okay. Or maybe one side is very challenged, just keep to one side, and that's okay. You may feel this little oscillation of the body, kind of like a wave kind of happening when you are speeding up the circles a little bit. Again, super squeeze that upper back musculature. So we do yoga postures, Pilates postures, postural alignment to strengthen not only the low back, but the upper back. Squeeze, 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 and release. Woo! We're going to do a little Tai Chi right now. We're going to shake our body. So shake some of that stress out, some of that built up contraction energy, and then turn a little bit side to side. Just kind of loosey-goosey those wrists, those elbows, those shoulders, those knees, the ankle glide, a little bit of hip going on here too. And then take it up, turn it side to side, soft bend in the knees always. And then have the arms go to a letter T, flap those wrists. And then turn palms up, flap the wrists again. That's great for that carpal tunnel. And just a little bit more lubrication of the shoulders. Let's kind of swing the arms, bend the knees. Again, motion is lotion. If you rest, you're going to rust. I'm pulling out all the cliches today, okay? You're going to hear it today. If you can, tap the shoulders and keep it going. Whether you're seated, whether you're standing. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Now we're going to go back to that golfer's grip. We're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands. Maybe some of the fingers came down. They did on mine. Still got one that's kind of sticking up though. And then back to letter W. Squeeze the upper back musculature. Soft bend in the knees. Let's extend those arms out. Once again, letter T. Now first we have the thumbs forward. Let's take the thumbs up and thumbs back behind you. Ooh. Now you're going to draw circles back behind you and forward. Again, soft bend in the knees, don't block those legs. Speed it up if you can, slow it down if you need to, whatever you need to do, okay? Woo! Couple more. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Then let's interlace the fingers, push the hands away, curve the spine to the back of the room, standing or seated cat pose. And then release the interlaced fingers. Bring fists on your hips. Take your chest, your eyes, look where the wall meets the ceiling for seated or standing cow pose. So it's extension and flexion of the spine. Let's go back to interlacing the fingers. Turn the hands away. Curve your spine. Press your hands away. And then fists on your hips or fists on the sides or back behind you. Again, lift the chest. Eyes look where the wall meets the ceiling. Standing back bend or standing cow pose, seated cow pose, whatever you can do here. And then go back to mountain pose where you're neither forward nor back, but just here straight in the middle. From here, let's come down to the floor or again on your chair if you're doing the chair version today. I use the chair to get down. So let me move my little yoga blanket out of the way. Use my chair to get down. We're going to go into squeak constructive rest pose. So I like to just kind of tip over onto my body. Again, I also have SI joint dysfunction. So sometimes my movements are very like stiff and I'm not doing one hip higher than the other because it's kind of spicy, folks. So we're lying on our back, knees bent. If you're here in the chair, don't have your back be stuck in the back of the chair. Come a little bit more forward on that chair. And I'm looking in the camera. Does it seem kind of fuzzy? No, it looks okay. All right. Come back on down. We'll make sure, because I am recording the class, but it's only on me. All right, so from here, we're in constructive rest pose. So another way to do this, if you don't like to get down to the floor, is move over onto your couch to do some of these. That way you don't have to get down on the floor, but you still get a lot of the benefit of being on the ground. For me, this feels strange. So I got to grab a wrist, pull that shoulder up and away, and then do the same with the other side. Okay, that feels a little bit better in my body. From here, we're going to invite the knee into the chest, knee to chest pose, whether you're seated, whether you're lying on your back, and let's point and flex the foot. Get some articulation of the ankle, little calf pump here. This is also your blood glucose lowering method when you pump that calf. Plus, it returns all this blood flow from, way far away from your body back into your heart. The calf is considered to be the second heart in our bodies, according to traditional Chinese medicine. And then let's pause that and draw a circle inward with our foot. Woo. And then reverse, other way. There might be some snap, crackle, pops happening here. And then release that foot back down to the floor. Let's do the other one. Draw your belly button towards your spine. Bring that knee in towards your chest. Now, what you're going to notice, the second side, maybe it's more in towards your chest. Maybe it's more far away. So notice what you notice. How does it feel compared to the first side? And then let's get that point and flex going here. There might be some snap, crackle, pops happening, depending on what's going on with you and your feet today. And then pause that for a moment and then start drawing circles. Ooh, it feels like I can feel my muscles moving around the bones or bones moving around the muscles, one of the two. And then let's reverse. Ooh, go the other way. Ooh, there's a big old snap on that one. And then release. Next posture is called the notice pose. So this is one I like to use. You kind of use it as a benchmark. Is this class effective for you? So what I like to do is extend one leg all the way down to the edge of the yoga mat. And if you're doing this seated, you rest on the back of the heel, leg straight out in front of you. And then you do the other one. Those of us laying on the couch or on the floor, you may notice like, ooh, maybe it feels tight around this hip musculature. Maybe it feels kind of odd in the body and the shoulders, in the low back, the back of the calves, the legs, if they're able to touch down or not. Do you have one foot that rotates more out than the other? So notice what you notice, or maybe you're now noticing what you are noticing. And again, just take a little snapshot how you feel here. And then bring a foot back onto the yoga mat. You may have to tighten your belly button towards your spine to make that happen, depending on what's going on with all these muscles around here in the trunk area. And then the other one. All right, next is knee to chest pose and extend the leg out. So what some folks do if they're seated in the chair, they'll take that yoga strap and place it along the bottom of the foot. You might do this also if you're laying down on the ground, because you're going to invite the knee into the chest and then extend that leg out. Now this may be laying the leg back down, the heel down on the floor if you're seated, okay? And again, inhale, knee into chest, exhaling leg out. Again, breathe in, knee into chest. So we're lubricating that hip joint, that knee joint. You may be feeling stuff going on in the knees, in the hip bones. So for me, I feel kind of achy in my hip today, and my meniscuses or menisci, whatever it is. I have a little conversation going on with them sometimes. Little creakiness going on here. Again, if you rest, you're going to rest. So we're not resting. We're moving. We're, lotion again. Motion is lotion for those joints. And you can do this without the strap. I just like sometimes if they have that leg go super far away, I use that strap to bring the knee back in, yeah. So it's just my little safety, guide there. One more. Knee into chest, give it a little squeeze, 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 and release it down. Other side. So again, invite the knee into the chest, maybe the strap along the bottom of the foot. You get to choose here. And then let's extend it out. And then inhale, knee into chest. And exhale. So I can hear a little crinkly stuff happening in my knee. Nothing here really on this hip. But again, you're going to notice left side versus right, knees, hips, all that good stuff. Again, little crinkly stuff going on here. And then do one more, extend it out, and inhale, knee into chest, and give it a good little squeeze right there, and release. Next is windshield wipers. So we're going to heel toe your feet a little wide. Now, sometimes what we do seated on the chair, we have the feet together and your feet are on the yoga block to add a little height to do this particular posture. But for those of us laying on the floor, heel toe the feet a little wide, and we're going to drop a knee out to the side. Now, for me, this feels kind of odd in my hip. So I will take my yoga block and lay it underneath just for a little support and on the side of the foot. Now with that other leg, we're going to drop it towards the bottom leg. And it may not get too far, and that's okay. I'm not trying to like roll my top hip over. I'm just letting the legs do the movement here. But I got a little bit, just a little bit of my behind off the yoga mat, the top behind. Not much, but just a little bit. And then bring that leg back to the center, other leg back to the center. So you're back into constructive rest pose. And now we're doing the other side. So we're going to drop the knee out to the other side. Now I don't need that yoga block on the second side or this side. And then take the top leg or the leg that's not doing anything, drop it towards the other leg. And this one, I have a little bit more clearance going on with my behind off the yoga mat in that low lumbar twists. So again, one side's super tight, one's a little bit less tight. I have a little bit more range of motion. So notice what you notice, okay? Squeeze that belly button towards your spine, bring your leg back to the center, bring the other one back to the center. We're going to do that one more time. I'm going to move my block. I probably don't need it on the second go around. Well, we'll see. So I'm going to drop that leg towards the floor. Ooh, yeah, I don't need the block on the second one. It just needs it on that first one for whatever reason. And then I'm going to take that top leg towards the bottom leg. And I'm going to take my hand underneath to see if I cleared the floor a little bit more. Yes, I did. So I'm already feeling a little bit more ease in the body, a little bit more increased range of motion. Bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center, back into constructive wrist pose, and one more windshield wiper. So here we go. We're going to drop it out to the side and take that top leg, drop it towards that bottom leg. So I've got a little bit more clearance going on here with that low lumbar twist. Yay. All right. Contract the belly button, bring the leg back to the top and the other one. And from here, let's do notice pose. So extend the leg, extend the other leg, kind of wiggle those feet, wiggle those hip bones, wiggle the shoulder bones, and then just kind of notice what you notice. Do you feel more connected to the floor? Is there less kind of grabby sensations is one word for it, yeah? Okay, all right. So from here, we're going to bring our feet back onto the yoga mat. And then from here, we're going to do, let me think, what did we call this? Letter T, arms, overhead extension with the yoga block. Well, that's kind of complicated, isn't it? So what we're going to do is take that yoga block or that stuffed toy or that ball about the 5 to 7 inch width. Place it in between the thighs and then heel toe your feet in. Okay, to where you feel like a little inner thigh squeeze going on here. Now, remember that golfer's grip? You probably don't want to remember it. That's a different story, though. We're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, and we have the hands out here in front of us like we're flying through the air. I'm turning my thumbs towards the center, and from here, I'm going to bend the elbows toward the back of the arms or on the floor. And the thumbs are pointed towards the sides, and you're doing this seated also, so you have parallel forearms to the floor. Now, I'm going to walk my feet in, a little more squeeze of the inner thighs. From here, I invite you to squeeze the shoulders towards one another or press the upper back shoulders into the floor. So squeeze and release, squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze, keep squeezing the block consistently and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. And 1 more. Here we go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and release. Bring the hands back in front of your chest. Clap your hands. Rub a little heat into those palms, into those fingers to increase circulation. Sometimes holding that golfer's grip is not the best thing on this planet, okay? But it's effective for what we're doing. Now we're going to interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms. I still have my hands in front of my chest. If you're on the floor, drop your shoulders to where, you know, it's all grounded into the floor. And then make your elbows look the same. Belly button tight, consistent squeeze of the block. And we're slowly bringing the hands up overhead, whether you're seated, whether you're lying on your back. Now you're just going to go where you can naturally go. If you got one shoulder that likes to talk, it's going to keep you from going too far, okay? Don't go to the ouch. So I'm here on the sides of my glasses. Woo! And you keep those arms straight. Don't cheat now. Don't have the bendy elbows. Have the straightened elbows. Then from here, belly button tight. Squeeze those palms. Bring the hands slowly back in front of your chest. Woo! And then once it's here in front of your chest, release the hands, clap the hands, rub those hands. If you want to find a similar class to this, so my master trainer was Justine Sheldon at a Yoga Vista. So you can find a very similar class to what I'm doing, to what I was trained for this gentle yoga for back hair, okay? From here, go back to golfer's grip, fold the fingers in, turn the thumbs in, and bend the elbows, and have that parallel forearms to the floor if you're seated. We're going to do this again. So here we go. Squeeze those shoulders and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. And 1 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now release that. Clap the hands in front of your chest. Rub some circulation in. And then interlace those fingers. Squeeze the palms. Shoulders down. Elbows look the same. Check, check, check. All right, here we go. Belly button tight. Squeeze that block up and overhead. Woo. Try to breathe while you do this too. Don't hold the breath. Oh, goodness. So I'm here more down my side of my face this time. Now I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. I might be able to touch the floor. I don't know. I did chair Tai Chi earlier today, so my range of motion is probably a little more increased than normal. So it might happen. I don't know. We'll see. All right, squeeze that palms really tight and then belly button tight as you slowly bring it back in front of your chest. Sometimes when you bring it overhead, it's like, whoa, bringing it back is not as easy as laying it back down, yeah? Clap those hands. Little heat, little circulation. And then fold those fingers in, turn the thumbs to the center, bend the elbows. Last one today, unless you find the video and you do it again. Here we go. So squeeze that block. Don't release the squeeze now. And press those shoulders into the floor and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 2 more, 2 more. Squeeze and release. And 1 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Guess what? 1 more time. Clap the hands. Woo! Rub that heat. Interlace those fingers. Squeeze the palms. Elbows the same. Lower the shoulders. So we're starting from the same point of view every time. Here we go. overhead. Don't go fast, go slow. Why? Because it's not very enjoyable. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wiggle your thumbs. Ooh, I can touch one thumb, but not the other. It's almost there. Again, super straight arms. So, whatever you're doing is cool, whatever your range of motion. Hopefully you felt a little increase. Squeeze those palms, belly button tight. Here we go. Squeeze that block. Also, bring it back in front of your chest. Yay. And then clap your hands. Woo. Release from that. Release that block. Yay. And then, you know what? Let's do a windshield wiper. But this time, let's try 2 at a time. In other words, drop both legs over to the side. Now, if that feels odd in the body, do 1 at a time. Okay. So I'm just going to have my arms out to the side here like a little lever. Ooh, I don't know if I like that, doing both at the same time. It feels a little spicy. Okay, I'm going to listen to my breath. Breathe in and out. Now squeeze that belly button towards the spine. You can use your hand to guide it back. Okay, just know that. Guide it back if you need to, or bring it back to the center. Try the other side. So I'm going to try both at the same time. I don't know if it's going to work. It feels spicy in my body. So lower over to the other. I'm going super slow. Oh my gosh. So yeah, a lot of my behind is up off that yoga mat in this 2-legged windshield wiper. Squeeze the core. Start bringing it back. Again, I'm going to use my hand to guide me because it's just a little spicy in the body today. I mean, it's not bad. Okay. I can use the breath to redirect my attention, but let's do 1 at a time now. So drop it out to the side. Notice what you notice, and then take that top leg, drop it. Notice that felt maybe different than the 2-legged windshield wiper. Maybe it's easier. Maybe it's just fine, right? Squeeze the belly button towards your spine. Top leg back to the center. Bottom leg back to the center. 1 at a time. The second go around. So drop the leg out to the side. Last time, maybe. And then take that top leg, drop it out. Drop it towards the other one. Woo! Okay, then you may be feeling kind of a lot of spice in that top behind, that hip. You can take the heel of your hand or your thumb. It's called trigger point therapy. You can press your heel of your hand into that maybe spicy muscle, that fascia, and just press into it and maybe wiggle it side to side. Sometimes that releases tightly held knots in the fascia or the fascia, however they say it. I say fascia. Other people say it different ways, okay? And let's come back to the center. Bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. While we're here, let's do a notice pose. So extend one leg. Down effects are optional. And extend the other one. Wiggle the feet, wiggle the hips, wiggle the shoulders. And my description for this is I feel more like melted into the floor. I don't feel as like tightly wound in my hip complex. It's releasing a little bit. There's more skin contact or contact with the floor with my various places in my body. So, it is what it is. Maybe you're noticing that too. So we got to do some more stuff. Okay. So we're going to slide our foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. Now for me, since I have SI joint dysfunction, I can't just roll over and twist because it like gets out of whack. So I got to walk my feet towards my behind, lift up, then turn. I have to do that in the bed too. You ever get that kind of spicy pain in your hip joints when you roll over one side to the other? It's usually indication you've got SI joint dysfunction. Hand in front, hand on top leg, you press into the floor. Sometimes we can feel dizzy when we come off the floor. So you may want to be here just for a little kind of equilibrium break, or maybe you can push up to all the way up to seated. Now, again, since I have one hip bone lower than the other because of my back problems, I use the yoga blanket. So I'm going to grab my yoga blanket. And then what I do is I fold, have it like a nice long rectangle. And I fold it into thirds so I get like a little bit of height going on here. This is like using your gear, using your props to make your yoga practice more accessible. And I keep my yoga block around because, again, I got a spicy knee too. I got spice. So anyway, I put it back behind me in case you're not watching the video and you're just listening to me. And I'm going to scoot the edge of my booty on the edge of the yoga blanket. So I'm going to press up and sit on the edge of that yoga blanket. So why is that important? Because I can't sit on the floor without a little bit of cushion or yoga blanket. And then it lets my hips tilt forward. So I feel a little bit more open in my ribs, better breathing. Now I'm feeling a little spice. So I'm just going to place it here just for my own comfort. This is where I would probably want to have two, I'm looking around the room, two yoga blocks, but it's way across there. So forget that. But we need to do some spinal twist. In back yoga specifically, we do what's called unsupported twist. Now, if you've been to class, you've heard it before, and you're going, okay, Gal, here you go. Again, yes, again. We're going to go back to that letter W. So we're feeling that upper back strengthening happening here. We're letting our thoracic spine kind of from here at the top of the lungs, the sternum, down towards the belly button. You know, that's your thoracic area in general, okay? We're going to allow it to do the work. So here we go. We're going to breathe in, allow that belly to get big, and then contract that belly button towards the spine. And with your chin aligned with your chest, twist over to one side. Woo! So that was you doing the work here, okay? And then from here, we're going to stay here, breathe in, keep squeezing those shoulders, and then exhale back to the center, and then relax those squeezy shoulders. Oh, yeah. So in a different yoga, in a class other than back yoga, they'll say, take your hand across on your leg and then twist. Okay, if you got back challenges, you don't want to do that because that's called a levered twist. And you may do more than what you need to be doing, like you'll have some pain maybe. Let's do the other side. So go back to squeezy letter W. You might be letting air release too. I'm burping here because it like twisting kind of helps you burp a little bit. So here we go. Breathe in, belly big. Squeeze those shoulders. And then belly button tight. Twist over to the other side. Ooh, did you twist more? Did you twist less? Re-squeeze that shoulder. Breathe in, belly big. Woo! Exhale back to the center and release. All right, we're going to do something for dowager's hump. Again, it has to do with this upper back musculature. And I can release my block now. Yay. Sometimes all it takes is a little rest on that block. I love it. So what we're going to do is, here's our shoulders and here's our ears. We're going to wear our shoulders as earrings. So in other words, shrug them up, squeeze those armpits. It's going to look weird. It has to. And then with this weird squeezy stuff here, we're going to turn halfway to the side. So y'all feel this tension building up in the upper back, I bet, yeah? And then release it down, yay. Bring it back to the center. We're going to do the same thing, other side. Again, squeeze those shoulders up towards your ears, strengthen that upper back musculature, and then turn over towards the other side. It looks and feels weird. Yes. Release it down, yay, it's over. And come back to the center. While we're here, we did one already. We did a standing cat-cow. Let's do a seated cat-cow. Unless you want to transition real quick onto your hands and knees, but I'm going to do one right here. So we're going to curve our spine to the back of the room. Little cat back there, and I'm hanging on to my shins, my knees. And this is like a pelvic tilt also, great for low back pain. You're going to come out of that cat back, the pelvic tilt, and come back to tall seated pose or seated mountain pose or standing mountain pose. And then what I like to do is have my elbows out to the side and hinge forward for my cow. So there is a little curve happening here. Maybe it's more on you than it is me, but it's, I'm kind of like leading with my collarbones forward. And then we're coming out of that, coming back up to tall seated mountain, back to our kind of like our, the middle pose, yeah? And let's do another cat back. So let's curve to the back of the room, curve that spine. Ooh, that feels good. I feel like my left side is like going more back than my right, just because my right's super tight. That's what I feel in my body. And then slowly come out of that pelvic tilt. Sometimes it's spicy, okay? Whew. And then here we go. Come forward for that cow. Or actually, you could also call this forward fold because you're like hinging forward, okay? There's a subtle difference between the two. And then come back on up. So we have a choice here. You can either be on your hands and knees. You can be seated on the chair. You can be standing behind the chair. You can have your one hand on the wall. We're going to do oppositional reach. We're trying to target the multifidi muscle, which is the deepest held layer of the back muscle. when it turns to fat, it recruits all the other muscles to do the work and thus causes lots of back pain. So if you know your favorite one, that's what you're going to do. If you're new to the class, maybe you can join me on the yoga mat for the standard is what we call this. It's also called spinal balance or bird dog. And again, as I mentioned before, I do have a spicy knee, so I use that yoga blanket. That's why I said the yoga blanket was optional to lay my knees upon, because it's like, all right, so here we go. Again, I'm very cautious when I move from one plane to the other because of all my spicy back challenges. And of course, I don't like it when my yoga mat is not straight. That's a yoga teacher thing, okay? So for those of you that already know what you're going to do, you're going to do that. For those of you that want to join me, you're going to take your right hand more forward. You're on your fingertips and take in your palm. And you're going to take your left foot off the yoga mat, maybe like I am. And then lift your heel and then lift your right arm. And feel those back muscles working. And release. I'm going to scoot a little bit more forward on my yoga mat because I think can't see it because of the chair in the way. All right, so let's do the other side, shall we? So left arm, move it a little more forward, and the right leg, extend it. Now I like to push the heel to the back of the room to get that calf contraction just for a little bit, yeah. Then belly button tight, lift your right heel, looking down at the floor, lift that left arm straight or elbow bent, and feel those muscles working. Woo! And release. So maybe you want to continue to do that for 3 or 4 more rounds, or maybe you want to try the chair version. I'm going to show the chair version just in case. So again, I'm sitting on the edge of the chair. I'm going to take that right arm up, extend that right arm, get that left leg extended out to the edge of the yoga mat, or left leg up, maybe hand underneath for your oppositional reach. Keep breathing and release. Woo! We got to do the other side. So left arm extends, right leg extends, and seated people, belly button tight, hand underneath the knee or not. Raise that leg up, flex that heel, maybe release it or not. And release. We're going to do one more set. Let me show the standing version. So my chair isn't quite tall enough for my body. So I'm going to come over to the wall and do the wall standing oppositional reach. So I have a hand high on the wall, and I've got a poster here. So I can do both hands here. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take my right foot again, bring it back behind me, and then take that left arm off the wall, left arm extended, lift that right leg up for your oppositional reach. And release. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to head and take my left foot, extend it out. Right arm's going to come off the wall, and left leg, flex that heel for whichever version that you're doing right now. And release. Wherever you are, maybe you're on your hands and knees, maybe you're seated on the chair, maybe you're standing. Let's do a cat-cow to release that. So curve your spine to the back of the room. So I'm doing this little kind of weird little curvy spine thing, standing. And then come back to neutral spine, and then hands forward or fist on your hips for standing cow, or whichever cow you're doing. Let's go ahead and go back to cat. Do your cat back. Love it. And then fist on your hips or belly down towards the floor for your cow. And release. Now, I invite you now to come up to standing. Take your time. Since I'm already standing, it's not going to take any time for me to do that, but y'all can come up to standing. And I'm going to show the chair version of Warrior 2. If you're familiar with Warrior 2, your feet are wide and you turn one set of toes towards the short end of the yoga mat. If you're doing this seated version, then again, you're away from the back of the chair. You bring a leg out, scooch over to one side. So it's just not feet on the floor, whether you're doing the standing or the seated one. It's a vigorous pose. We're trying to do bone building here. So we're pressing our feet firmly into the ground to where we feel those quadriceps tightening up, stuff around the knees, maybe the back, the hamstrings. And then you turn your torso towards out that leg that's pointing to the front of the room. Arms out into a letter T. So that's your setup for Warrior Two seated. So standing, as you already know, stepping the feet wide. Right? And I use the chair because I can go wider. Okay. So I step it wide. Then I lift my heel, turn my foot towards the short end of the yoga mat, bend that knee. Now for me, I can heel toe my foot out a little bit more. And then I look to see, is my knee in line with my foot? Yep, it is pretty much. And I bend my knee just a little bit more. Now try to have my hips parallel to the long end of the yoga mat. So remember the golfer's grip? We're going to do it again. So fold those fingers into the pads of the hands. Go back to your letter W. Now think about, there's a wrinkle on the floor. We hate wrinkles. So we're going to press down and spread it out towards the edge of the room. So your feet should feel very firm into the floor. Squeeze these shoulders and extend those arms out into that letter T. Now, guess what? Draw circles forward and back behind you. So get a little movement, a little resistance here. Firm feet into the floor, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. You can do one at a time. You can hang onto the chair or fist on the hip. And then pause, thumbs up, thumbs behind you. Bend the knee a little bit more if you can. Firm feet into the floor. Draw that circle behind you. Squeeze those shoulders. So all this helps you to lessen your stress, sleep better, have better joint mobility, build your bones, improve circulation and balance. And release that out. Shake it out. Shake it out. We're going to come out of the pose. So I'm going to softly straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in, switch over to the other side if you're doing the chair version. Bring your feet in, kind of walk in place a little bit here. Because, you know, we were in that position a little bit, which is a good thing. We're stimulating that bone growth with our big muscle groups. So here we go. Step those feet out. Heel toe them out. Make a note. Don't put lotion on your feet before you do a yoga class because you may slip a little bit. Okay. Lift your heel, turn your foot, bend your knee. Again, think about, are your hips mostly parallel to that long end of the yoga mat? Sometimes my hips turn a little bit. I think that's because I'm a woman, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, squeeze those shoulders. And you know what we're going to do, right? Golfer's grip. Arms out into a letter T. Thumbs forward. Draw the circle forward. Press those feet vigorously into the floor. Squeeze those shoulders. And then pause. Thumbs up. Thumbs to the back of the room. Draw them back behind you and forward. Still squeezing the shoulders, pressing those feet. You don't want to, maybe a hand on a chair. That works too. Woo. And then release those arms, shake them out, kind of like we did earlier, where we just kind of shook, shook, shook. All right, let's straighten that leg, pivot that foot, walk it in. Tree pose. So we got several versions of tree. If you're doing the seated version, you got to bring that yoga block a little more forward. Once again, squeaky chair. Ball the foot on the yoga block and take the other one to where the leg is out to the side. So you're pressing firmly into both feet. So we're trying to get into that hip musculature. Maybe arms, letter V, if you're doing the seated version. If you're doing the standing version, what I like to do is step a foot out, lift the heel, turn the foot, and then make sure the balance foot is pointing towards 12 o'clock. Sometimes the feet kind of go weird directions. Bring that foot in, walk it in. Maybe you're here connected to the floor. Maybe it's slid into your calf. Maybe it's into the inner thigh. Make sure you're not jutting your hip out. It's nice and straight. Now I use either the wall or the chair because I'm quite wiggly. Maybe an arm or arms can go up. Notice if your leg likes to travel to the front of the room, the objective is leg out to the side to wherever you need to have that foot to keep balance. So again, this is also a bone building posture in our yoga practice. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. Maybe you're feeling a little sway going on here. And release. Maybe a little side to side foot action here. And we're going to go over to the other side. Or the other foot. That makes sense. So step your foot out, lift that heel, turn that foot, get your balance, come up on that. This may be your tree, and that's okay. Most of the weight on that foot that's pointed forward. Walk it in. Again, maybe it's the calf, maybe it's the inner thigh. I can do this on this side. I cannot do it on the other side. So again, you may be having some muscular imbalances due to whatever's going on. A hand or hands up, or maybe hands to heart center. Leg out to the side. Pressing feet firm into the floor if you're doing the seated version. Don't forget to breathe. And release. Again, little swing side to side. We got to do block bridge. Y'all know we need to do that, right? If you're doing the chair, maybe you go over to the couch with your yoga block and do this, because this is not the same when you're doing the seated. You're not going to get the wonderful yumminess, as I like to call it. But again, let's come on down. Grab your yoga block. That chair out of the way here. And if you've got that hand towel or blanket close by, because right after this is guided rest and relaxation, you may want to cover up your eyes. Sometimes I'll take that yoga strap and just, cover up my eyes. Or come to a seated place. Either way is okay. So block bridge. It's a wonderful thing. We're going to take that yoga block, walk your feet towards your behind. We're in constructive rest pose. Let's first, I almost forgot. Let's do notice pose. Extend those legs. Here we go. Then the other. Shake those feet, shake those hips, shake those shoulders. Notice what you notice. Are you feeling pretty connected to the floor? Does it feel easier in your body? Maybe. Okay, now walk the feet towards your behind, and then either with your hand and lift your bottom up, or your own muscular strength, press up, bring that block underneath, low on the booty, okay, low on the behind. Now, you may need to make some adjustments. If this doesn't feel good, you can do this without the block. I'm going to walk my shoulders up and away. So I always feel kind of crunchy, scrunchy here until I get everything nice and adjusted. All right. So hopefully y'all are in the same place. Again, if you're doing this in the chair, you got to press your low behind into the block. We're going to take one leg off the floor and shake it in the air. And then wiggle it side to side. And again. I saw this in my gentle yoga for back care class, but I've seen it in a lot of Pilates classes too, some variation of this. So I went, oh, okay, well, maybe this is a Pilates move. I don't know. They usually do it on like a foam roller though, not a yoga block. And then lower. You may notice some sensations happening in the leg. Let's do the other one. Bring it up, 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 up. Shake it. And then wiggle it side to side. I don't like the wiggling side to side. It feels weird. I still do it though. Again, shake. And if you want to, bring the other leg up. Shake them both. Have a little competition here. Which one can shake more? I don't know. And then wiggle side to side. Woo! And shake them. One more wiggle side to side. Here we go. Wiggle, wiggle. And one more shake. And let's bring one leg down. Notice the sensation that might be happening here. Then the other. Woo! All right, so what I'm going to do, walk my feet a little bit towards the yoga block, press my upper back into the floor, lift up, bring that block out, bring my spine back on down. Woo! So notice what you notice here with coming out of the block bridge. Again, let's do notice pose. It's also known as spinal relaxation pose. Wiggle those feet, wiggle those hips. You've got your little cover for your eye or cover for your body. You can do that at this time, because next we're doing the guided rest and relaxation. As you get comfortable, I'm going to come up to seated, come up to the front of the camera to guide you through our guided rest. So again, I invite you to get comfortable, whatever that means for you today. That was me hitting my chair. Wiggle those arms, wiggle those legs. So let's just kind of set aside our thoughts for a moment here, come back into the body. So by doing that, let's just pay attention to the breath. Don't change it in any way. Just listen as you bring the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Listen to that sound as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Let's notice the rise of the belly and the chest as we inhale and as we exhale. In this short little practice today, it's called non-sleep deep rest. It's a variation of yoga nidra. Yoga nidra and non-sleep deep rest are wonderful meditation practices, guided rest practices that help you to reduce chronic pain, lessen PTS type of symptoms, get you out of that monkey mind back into, a singular mind, so to speak. So all you have to do is listen to my voice. So we'll do what's called a body scan. I'll name some places in our body. You'll name them in your mind as I say them. Repeat them in your mind. Bring all your attention, all of your focus to that area, even though your eyes are closed or maybe softly gazing. And let's start. So let's bring all of our attention, all of our awareness into that right hand thumb. So you'll think right hand thumb. You'll imagine your right hand thumb. And then you bring all your attention to your right hand thumb. Good. And then let's just move on. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, right palm of the hand, back of the hand, right wrist, forearm, elbow, right upper arm, right shoulder. Again, I invite you to bring all of your attention, all of your awareness to your right side chest, right side waist, hip, upper right leg, front of the right knee, shin, top of the right foot. And let's bring all of that attention, all of that awareness into our right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, right pinky toe. Shifting all of your attention to the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, the right calf, the back of the right knee, the back side of that upper right leg, buttock, right side low back, right side shoulder. Good. From here, we're noticing all the places on the right side of the body, just the right side. Now let's shift all of our attention over to the left side of our body, starting with that left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, left palm, top of the left hand, wrist, left forearm, elbow, left upper arm, shoulder, left side chest, left side hip, hip bone, upper left leg, front side of that left knee, shin, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, left pinky toe, sole of the left foot, calf, back side of the left knee, upper left leg, buttock, left side back muscles, left side shoulder. Again, notice all the places in the left side of the body, just the left side. Now let's shift our attention to the right side, then back to the left side. Once again, back to the right side and now the left side, both at the same time. Good. From here, we'll do what's called a elongated breath, and that's to help us to continue to reduce our blood pressure and our heart rate. What I will do is I'll clap my hands softly for 4 times as we breathe in. We'll pause, and then we'll exhale for a clapping of 5 times. If this doesn't resonate with you, just breathe. So here we go. Breathe in, pausing, exhale. Once more, breathe in and exhale. One more time. Breathe in and then slowly exhale. All right. From here, I invite you to come back into the now, back into the present moment. Maybe that's kind of wiggling those toes, those fingers. If you're lying on the floor, maybe you can invite the knees into the chest and kind of like sway side to side. If you're seated in the chair, go ahead and start with shoulder circles. So again, a little bit of movement here. And if you're on your back, let's reverse, go the other way. And those of us seated in the chair, other way. Very good. And then we're going to come up to seated. So if you're laying on your back, bring those feet on the floor, gently roll over onto your side body, and then come up to a seated place. Sometimes, again, we can feel a little dizzy when we come up. So bring your hands to heart center, bring your chin towards your chest. That's to kind of calm down any kind of equilibrium shifts that are going on here. And while we're here, in fact, let's just bring our chin towards our chest in gratitude of us just showing up today. So we're entering into our gratitude practice now. Let's think about one thing that we're grateful for, or maybe an idea of gratitude. Grab it, clasp it. Let's place it into our heart space. I appreciate y'all's dedication, determination, and responsibility for coming to a class, for signing up for a class, coming to a class, or maybe watching a recording later on. That's you on your journey of self-help, self-health also. So let's bring our eyes to gaze forward once again, and we'll end our class as we traditionally do. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's bring the peace, the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care.